Took a moment for that to switch to the game. Okay. Alright, so like I said, last time we got the priest key, and we smashed our head against the Sasquatch, and we need to get the wands to open up the power of passage. And so a little bit of exploration. We've got to do a little bit of backtracking, and then we'll go forward. Why don't you introduce yourself, Hunter, for those who have no idea who you are?
Hey, I'm HunterM. I hang out on Theo's Discord once in a while. And I think this game's really stupid, and I love it.
Hunter also does a lot of lore and Souls chat and stuff like that. And
yeah, I don't make any content.
They don't make any content, but they do wreck in Hollow Knight, so...
Yeah, it was a successful stream, finally.
Check Hunter's stream out when you get the chance.
Alternatively, don't. They're bad.
Alright, let's get started. So back to Seath. So funny thing is, I started playing Warframe again, and I had to invert my y-axis because of Kingsfield.
Oh man, Kingsfield does have inverted Y, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's an inverted y-axis. And I didn't even notice until I started trying to play Warframe again, and it's like, my mind is all discombobulated. It's like, up is down and down is up.
Are you telling me that Kingsfield has, like, ruined your y-axis for the time being?
Yeah, pretty much. It's ruined my y-axis.
Oh, that's bad. That's no good.
Look at this Z fighting. Look at that Z fighting. Alright. So, first thing we've got to do is we've got to check around here some more.
Yeah, so as somebody who has, I'm not saying I have, but for all the viewers coming in who might have missed the last few streams, catch us up on what's been going on.
So we got to the forest, and last stream, which took about 2.5 hours, we found our way into the King's Mausoleum, and I accidentally went into an endgame area before I probably should have, and got my teeth kicked in a few times by a 4-armed Sasquatch of a guy. Looks a bit like, what's the boss in Dark Souls 2? In the ship.
Oh, the Twisted Century?
Yes. So I spent about, 45, 60 minutes just hitting the save state just because I wanted to mess with him and I wanted to see how his boss fight worked and stuff like that. But I figured, being a Souls player, it's like, well, you come across a hard thing and you do your best against the hard thing and eventually you'll come across it. But I'm way under level.
No, see, that's the problem. You gotta come with this like a Kingsfield player. You gotta be a coward.
Yeah, you gotta be a coward. Like this guy. Let me finish killing this guy, and I'll show everybody my stats.
Don't insult this friendly little fella. He's doing his best.
He's doing his best. So here are my stats so far. The full one. I've got 724 gold, which is nice. Can dump that into arrows. One other thing I need to do, which I was told later that I should do. Today my controller's a bit slow. But...
You're not still having that disconnection problem, are you?
No, I switched wires, and the wires should be fine, but it's just been a bit slow today. Alright.
If I had to see you die to another skeleton because of that, that would just be a tragedy.
Yeah. So... Because I use my DS4, I have to remember what I set as my select button. So there's apparently a couple of things I missed in here. So I'm just gonna...
I remember there being like a fire dagger.
Yeah, I missed that entirely. And I just wanted to see if I could find it real fast before we go hit up a few priest doors, because we have the priest key.
Yeah, so this game is like, I've played it like twice or something. Like a few years back. So a lot of this game exists in like flashes and memories and stuff. Like when you remember the smell of something.
Yeah.
So I have like these vague images of this maze.
So how did you come across this game? Did you come across it because of Souls?
I definitely played it after I played Souls. It was a weird experience. I don't remember what specifically prompted me, but I think it was like the Bonfire Side chat guys who went through the old Kingsfield games.
I know they did at least this game for Watch Out for Fireballs.
Yeah. Oh, it was that for Kingsfield 4, and then Dave Klein convinced me to play the other ones too.
Yeah. He is pretty much the patron saint of Kingsfield on the YouTube.
He is one of the 2 people that has made Kingsfield lore videos.
Yeah, one of the 2 people. Although the Sword of Moonlight guys do a lot of work, they're still currently porting Kingsfield 2 to PS4, I think.
Tell me about Sword of Moonlight, guys. I would like to know more about that.
The Sword of Moonlight guys have been around since forever, because they released the engine for Kingsfield 1 to 3 onto something, and like you can take this. It's called the Sword of Moonlight engine, and so you can take it and make your own RPG about it. And some people do and have, and there's been a lot of fan games.
That sounds extremely dope.
There's a lot of fan games actually of using the Sword of Moonlight engine and making spiritual successors to Kingsfield, and that's been a thing that they've been doing for a long time.
I would love to see some people make a fan game of Kingsfield that runs a little faster.
Yeah. There's a couple of guys working on hacking a PSVR to put Kingsfield on PSVR.
I don't know how to react to those thoughts. That's a lot of conflicting emotions in me.
Oh gosh. So yeah, there's been
a lot of fear.
Small but devoted Kingsfield community. That's weird. So I'm not like wholly up on their status, but every so often they'll post to swordofmoonlight.org about what they've been doing and what they've discovered and how they've been hacking together like a PSVR to put Kingsfield on a PSVR. So we just
remember that time that you fought like a whole burrow full of Sonic the Hedgehogs? And then they brought it back in Dark Souls 2?
Oh yeah, and then they brought it back. Those guys are really scary.
They're awful because they do like contact damage. That's the worst.
Yeah. Dark Souls 2 is like Kingsfield 4's greatest hits.
Wasn't it that there were like a lot of team members for Dark Souls 2 that had worked on Kingsfield?
A lot of FromSoft's employee base come out of Kingsfield. Like, the producer whose interview was translated on the H-Tech, I hesitate to call it website because it's like they don't have a website anymore.
So just something about the thought of like H-Tech barely has an existent website.
Well, they don't. Technically, they don't. It's all on archive.org now.
But I like the phrasing of I would struggle to call it a website.
Yeah, I mean, I would struggle to call it a website anymore because it's basically just mirrors on archive.org or the Wayback Machine. But
it just feels so appropriate as well.
It's funny because like a lot a lot of games people remember fondly are Age-Tech published games. Like,
Yeah, they were doing most of From's old stuff, right?
most of From's old stuff, probably because they had a deep relationship with From starting at the beginning, via their ASCII Entertainment, which is the Japanese arm.
Okay, that ties them together.
Yeah. And ASCII Entertainment had the rights to Wizardry, and Wizardry anime that's really bad, but they wanted their own game, and Kingsfield came out of it.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's how, and Age-Tech is the American arm to ASCII Entertainment.
So where's the bad Kingsfield anime?
It's on the YouTubes. It's called Wizardry. Actually,
Oh.
fun fact about that is Wizardry is up to its 8th iteration. Because Wizardry is a D&D PC game, and it took off pretty high. It was very popular in Japan for a long time, which is why it spawned an anime and spawned Kingsfield, kind of. But Wizardry was free on Twitch Prime. It's up to its 8th iteration. Just last month, actually. I was about to buy a Wizardry game, just, out of pure curiosity.
Would those games be like sort of this first-person
I have
action
no
RPG
idea.
thing?
I have no idea.
Maybe it's a series I should look into.
I was very curious. But I saw a Wizardry for PS2 at a retro game convention I went to last week. And I almost bought it, but I didn't.
I don't know. My gut tells me that you made the right call there.
Yeah, probably. I was looking for, like, Kingsfield. Maybe if I got lucky, I could find Kingsfield Long Box. Some other old games.
I mean, there's some pretty easy ways to find Kingsfield.
Oh, yeah, but
I won't say them.
I want the full experience.
So is this being played on like a PS4 like a download version?
No. This is on via emulator because my PS2 is in the basement.
Okay.
So the disc is running.
Just confirming for everybody who wants to know, you do own the legal one.
Yeah, I got it for like $45. I was expecting it to be way more expensive.
I was just curious because of the Z fighting that we've been seeing all over this place. I remember seeing a bunch of that. Was wondering if that's in the console version too.
I've heard that this game does not emulate very well at all.
And I can imagine.
Even on the PS3, it does not emulate very well. You know the artist Tetix, right? The guy who did the flat image of Lordran and stuff. He told me right off the bat that Kingsfield 4 does not emulate well on the PS3 at all. It refuses to load a few levels. Nothing.
Oh yeah, no, I ran into that. That was an experience.
Nothing completely like game breaking or whatever, but like it's weird.
I feel like I'm gonna need to be here to like save you from certain parts of the ancient city area, because there's like I distinctly remember one certain area a little later in the game where if you go into a certain room and like pick up a potion and talk to an NPC there, and you try to backtrack, the area will have not loaded and you will just fall into space and die.
Oof. Oof.
So that's going to be a thing to look out for later.
So we picked up the fire carver in there, and I'm going to put it on just to wear it, see how it works. But we did get the Cavalier plate. I don't know if... Okay, we're still underweight. Okay, cool. So we can put that on. Looks pretty baller. But
Yeah, but stay serious, though. Don't get too cavalier about it.
Yeah. So let me just refill my MP. Hey, Solid Snake. So now we need to go grab some things out of the pre-stores, and then
and then we'll be heading back into the tomb and grabbing the wands. Is that what they are?
Yeah, I think we might end up doing the wands first because I think we're closer to that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be better to get the teleporting power soon.
Yeah, sooner rather than later. I like the thing I really like is that they figured out a fast travel solution on the PS2.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, figuring out a fast travel solution shouldn't be too difficult for most systems.
Right.
In the sense of, like, you know, if you set up, I don't know how video games work, by the way, this is me talking about my ass, but if you set up specified points from which you can choose to load to another zone, then it's like, you know, you just like then you give the game a little bit of time to load from there, and that shouldn't cause much trouble. Like, you know, you just like fade out to white or whatever, and then you end up in the other place. That's just the game loading another thing.
Right.
So that doesn't sound to me like it should be too complicated. Excuse me. Oh gosh. That doesn't seem like it should be like too complicated to program into something as archaic as a PS2.
It still seems a bit interesting that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a bit ahead of the curve. Like, I don't think there were many like open exploration-y games that were doing that at this point.
Oh, I just ran right into that.
What I do kind of appreciate, I think... Oh no, I just saw that on my end. What I do kind of appreciate in terms of how Kingsfield does it is the world building way that they do it, the flavor of how that mechanic ends up working, which is where it taps into this sort of into this sort of flavor that I like a lot in the Souls games, in which there's a tangibility to the kind of magic and the kind of supernatural stuff you interact with.
No, it is running through emulator. My PS2 is in the basement because I have space issues with my house.
Yeah, this is a PS2 game, but yeah, Theo's just gotta, for convenience sake.
Plus, I can make it look nicer. Instead of...
Oh yeah, I always up-res everything that I play on emulator.
Yeah, I mean, plus I can make it look as good as it possibly can. Which is actually quite good.
Yeah, it's crisp. It's nice. It's definitely not as fuzzy as a PS2 game normally was. But I don't know. I like the idea that, like, fast travel, like Dragon's Dogma kind of did this too, where fast travel wasn't done by just, like, you know, selecting a thing from a menu. It's like you have to specifically place some kind of magic rock doohickey in a spot, and that sets down a checkpoint, and then you use another magic rock doohickey to travel to it. It's like that feels like you're more connected to the space.
Not what I wanted at all.
Oh, is this the dark spooky room? Where is this? Oh.
It's dark spooky room full with Dark Souls 2 night guys.
Oh, okay.
All ready to throw some ice at me.
I don't know if you've gotten to the dark spooky room, the tomb, yet.
I've triggered the bell trap because Bell's in a FromSoft game.
No, it wasn't that. It was there's a room that, like, I'm a big video game coward. I'm a big dumb baby, everybody. And so there is a room in this mausoleum where it's like there's a bunch of, like, stalactite statues of like you know, it's probably like to represent, like, the old kings or whatever, I don't know, but they're all, like, hanging from the ceiling, and it's really dark in there, and so you kind of, like, just barely brush up against them as you walk by, and it's like really pitch black dark, and there's a bunch of, like, really quiet, like, kind of chanting, whispery noises in there, and it's spooky.
There's a lot of spookiness. I remember reading that aforementioned interview that I like trailed off on, by producer Nishida, who still works for FromSoft, and he's usually like a systems designer. And he's got credits on Moby all the way through Dark Souls Remastered. That atmosphere was their #1 concern with this game.
Yeah, I feel that, because, I mean, this game doesn't have a lot going for it aside from atmosphere, so that checks out.
Okay, this is where I wanted to be. Those were the trap rooms. Here's the point. And this should be our first pre-store that we open.
I don't remember anything about pre-stores. Okay, yeah, cool. It worked.
Yeah, because I bounced off of that one when I was exploring this place. So, what do we have here? This looks like a...
Yeah, I'm getting a flashback to this a little bit. This is some kind of puzzle.
There's only one that's not following me, so... I guess they're all closed now.
Wait, they're closed? What? Oh! Oh, you can interact with them. Yeah, I don't remember this video game. This is good. I'm glad. Oh, there's definitely a switch on the floor there. I see that X on the button. What's this?
So if you don't do that puzzle, there's a ceiling that will come down upon you.
This is kind of dickish, though. Like, you solved my eyeball puzzle. Now burn.
Yeah, I mean, you have to pull out Endure Fire. Endure Fire's down.
What is wrong with this king?
A lot of things. Alright. We're good here. I did see a little bit of a Japanese speedrun that is posted on YouTube. So he doesn't even bother with this puzzle. He just pulls on Endure Fire and goes straight for the first wand.
Just run for it.
Just runs for it. The ceiling up top will fall down upon you slowly, so you have time to run in and come back out again.
Now, not to doot on my own horn or anything, but I'm pretty sure that's the approach I took my first time too.
Yeah, I mean, well, not knowing that's a puzzle is probably part of it.
That's the twist, is that I was dumb and I didn't solve the puzzle.
Yeah, didn't solve the puzzle. Didn't know it was a puzzle.
Yeah, it's possible to speedrun this game at this speed, yeah.
So, yeah, the speedrun only takes like 2 hours. An hour and a half. But
that sounds wrong. That can't be right.
The speedrunner, he like sells the clarity bracelet immediately, buys like 99 herbs, and like books it. He like grabs that wand, runs into Ice Town, and like uses a rapier against a demon boss, and then just keeps going. It's kind of ridiculous. It's beautiful to watch, but I have no idea what the heck he's doing. Even though I can read most of what he like writes as commentary, because it's somebody ripped it off from Nico Nico Doga and they posted it on YouTube, so they don't have any translation either. So that's one pre-store down, and that's probably the important one.
There was another one back in like the Arrow Zone, right?
Yeah, there's another one down from Arrowtown.
Do you think these might actually be towns and you're just invading them?
Yeah.
What if these are like functioning ecologies?
Well, the thief, the grave robber of this game, he does suggest that it's like monster nests. He's like, a bunch of monster nests have died. Is that your doing? And we're like, well, I guess. And he tells us about Sistari. Yeah, but the speedrunner, you can keep running even though you're out of stamina. It'll just keep running until you like let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Poor Astral. Astral's been playing a little bit of Haunting Ground.
Oh, okay.
Which is why it came up about how much AgeTech published all of these weird games back in the day. Because people say that Haunting Ground is a Clock Tower spiritual successor. And the Clock Tower games were published by AgeTech.
Haunting Ground is kind of a weird case because that was part of the whole Resident Evil 4 history thing.
Yeah.
It was one of the prototypes. And then they Capcom, the team on it, sort of spun it off into kind of a Clock Tower like. Yeah, that makes sense.
Vagrant Story and Parasite Eve were also prototypes for Final Fantasy VIII.
I didn't know they were connected that closely. Like those two came out around like the same time, so I always kind of connected them.
They were
I didn't know they were
dueling.
specifically prototypes.
Yeah, they were prototypes for 8. Parasite Eve was only done because they needed an IP, and Parasite Eve is a famous book IP in Japan. It's a book.
Man, that sounds completely true. That sounds way more right than it should.
Yeah, like the book got translated while I was in college by Vertical, and I still have never gotten it. But let's see here. We should go the other door instead of having to run through the arrow, like the second arrow zone. Actually, there's something here.
Like, I feel like the only thing that would sound more correct than Parasite Eve was a popular novel series would be like Parasite Eve was a popular drama CD series or something.
Yeah, there's a bunch of movies for Parasite Eve, and like a book or two.
Oh, cool! What did you just pick up? I don't know what that is.
I was just about to read it because I have no idea. A Black Eye. When all eyes come together, the closed passage will be opened.
Oh gosh, right! I know what that's for.
Okay.
You need to open all those chests. I remember now. It's really good. It's late game stuff.
Okay. So I guess this is where we need to go to the Frost Zone. But
man, I don't remember what your next move is here.
Yeah, I think we have to go to the Frost Zone and use the blue thing, because the only other place that is active is a red thing that I plopped down earlier in the game.
Wait, I remember your next move.
Yeah.
After you do your priest key stuff, you got 3 wands, right?
Yeah. Let's read them, actually, because I don't think we have. We have the red wand, we have the green wand, and we have the blue wand. When used on a symbol of passage, this wand takes you to the marker with the blue guide stone. And the red guide stone I've already found and plopped somewhere very early in the game. And we haven't found...
Blue guide stone... Where is the blue guide stone? Because isn't it in this little place that you're at right here? Yeah. So, in that case, if you know where the red one is and you know where the blue one is, but you don't know where the green one is...
Like, I can take it and put it down.
What if you tried something with the green wand?
Alright. Let me put this blue guide stone back in. Because I plopped it out.
Oh, okay.
Alright, let's try it. We can do the random other priest.
If I remember correctly, this place is a good place to keep a checkpoint all the time, because this is a place you want to come back to a lot. but I think I remember the silly adventure game solution here is like, well, you haven't seen a green one, so who knows where it could be.
Yeah, so we could do the other priest doors later. I think it's just items. Like, I think the Earthbinder is one of them.
You'll be coming back through old areas quite a few times throughout the game anyway.
Yeah. Alright, let's do it.
Let's go!
Okay, where are we? I recognize the music, so... Hey, it's
It'll
C.
just take me a few minutes to catch up.
Well, I'm in low latency, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, it gets a bit longer as I leave the stream on, so let me just refresh the page.
Okay, we are in Area City Level 3, South.